But I did want to say also about my dissertation is that it's like, it's a lot of work, but the work is kind of like oddly distributed. So if you have, I think of it like a timeline. If you have like the x-axis would be time, where time is X number of years. Like in my case, like 3 or 4 years or something like that. Or 7. Well, it's all relative. But you know, when you first start grad school, it's a lot of work. You're in there, like you're taking classes, and you're trying to understand how things are in the lab. You're learning equipment, you know, and then like, so you have all this work at the very beginning. You're reading your papers, and then you start collecting your data, and then like your work starts to go down because now you just it's kind of like you're busy all the time, but you're not doing much work. I mean, you're just collecting data. You have to like repeat these experiments over and over and over and over again. And that's like this entire period in the middle. And then you have like this period at the end where you're writing your dissertation, and you know you can't sleep, you can't eat, you're always in the library, you know, you can't work on, you know, Wheelhouse websites, you can't do anything else. And you can't do anything else, and so like you're just constantly working on that for like months and months and months and months at the very end of your dissertation. Until finally you're done, and then you can like defend and you're all right and relaxed. But during that period in the middle, that's the guts. I mean, that's like where everyone sort of like gives up after a while, because there's another plot that I'm going to try to describe to you as well. It's your emotional investment in sort of what you're doing. And when you start out in your dissertation, again, you're starting off really high, you're really, really happy, right? And then you go into the lab and you realize, oh my God, everyone around here is so much smarter than me, and they're so much better than me. You know, they're just like really, really good at what they're doing, and it's called the inferiority, or what is it? There's a name for it, imposter syndrome. Yeah. So you realize, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be found out any moment now. So anyway, you start to get a little bit like self-conscious, and then you start getting the peer review feedback from your when you write scientific articles, you send them out and they go to anonymous reviewers, and they sort of review your work and they tell you what you did right, what you did wrong. And in the very first paper is just mostly what you did wrong. And so you're just constantly getting this criticism. And I remember like it was like my very first feedback I got. I wrote a grant to try to do some work in my lab, and the reviewer said, from this application, it appears the applicant won't be doing anything more than toiling in his master's lab for 3 years. And which is basically what I did. I didn't know that I actually wrote that down on a piece of paper, so I didn't get funded on that grant. And so you start taking these hits, and they start going all the way down, but after a while, you start to get a thick skin to it, you know, and you realize they're trying to help you. They're not just trying to make you mad and make you go out and buy beer and stuff like that. That's what I did. So you have to imagine, like, there's like these two plots sort of overlay on each other. You've got this period where you're not really doing much like real work, and you're starting to get more and more bummed out. And I think if you look at grad students, it's sort of like a lot of students will leave. I had like a number of, like half my lab left during their grad program, and I think it's because it's sort of like a depressing time in your life, because you don't feel like your parents are always like, when are you going to graduate? You're like, oh man, it's not my fault, my rat's not working. It just takes forever to get this stuff done. But I wanted to say just a quick thank you to my family. I think I was extremely lucky that I lived here in Michigan, and that was one of the reasons why I chose U of M, because it was close to my family. And I want to say, thank you for, especially to Karen. I used to call her up every day during those times, crying about this and that and everything else. And I also want to say thank you to Kathy and Bill and all the kids for being so close and let me share a part of their lives as well when we were going there. And also, to my mom and dad, for just being the stand-up parents that I needed during that time. Because I don't know if you know, I had academically I had some challenges, and personally in my life during these years I had a number of challenges, and so it was my family that sort of came together and sort of helped me get through that period of my life. And so yeah, but whereas remember about these two graphs, so I'm at this part now where the work is done, so the work's zero, and I'm done with my dissertation, so the happiness is high. So I'm not really doing any work, but I'm really happy. So I think that's a good spot to be in my life.
So am I, Greg.
Yeah, thanks a lot. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for everyone that came out, and it was really, really nice to get to talk to everyone again, and seeing all these beautiful faces again. So it's just, you guys have meant a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. someone asked me, my dad was asking me today how much my dissertation cost me, and I was like, well, it didn't cost me anything, but it did cost you something. It's been calculated that I'm a $500,000 of your taxpayer dollars at work, so thank you very much.